Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother in the struggle coming right back to you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, again, didn't I tell you that what's happening in Minnesota was going to keep happening, and not just in Minnesota, but all over the country. So they can have an excuse to declare a national emergency and bring troops into different states. They're already there. They're already in Mnneapolis. Ladies and gentlemen, the latest victim was Alex Petty, or Pretty, or something like that. Pretty. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are being instigated by the powers that be in Minnesota. You got to understand where the essence of the evil power lies. Let me just tell you some facts. The governor, Tim Walz, in Minnesota, he is a Davos. He's a friend. He's friend with the World Economic Forum. He's friends with them. Then another thing that you know, gender engineering, turning a little girl into little boys and boys into little girls. So, ladies and gentlemen, the evil that is going on overwhelms you. And they know how to work the masses. In fact, in the last press conference from the mayor of Minnesota, Mr. Fry, I call him Fry Brains. That man, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't mention the fact that this Alex character had a gun. He just don't want no federal agents in Minnesota. In the meantime, crime is down thanks to the federal agents' presence in Minnesota. That's a fact. But then again, the cause of crime is just the crime situation in any society has always been a spiritual misdirection. The lack of spiritual direction, because our fight is not against flesh and blood. This is a spiritual battle, ladies and gentlemen. And these people don't seem to understand it. Because we got to understand who's in charge. The devil, whether you want to believe it, is in charge. Satan is in charge. This is his time. And he wants to take as many people as possible. Okay? America is sinking. America is sinking, the sinking Titanic, ladies and gentlemen, because America is in the way of the new world order. Yes. Okay? And if you think that your leaders give a damn about you, you have another thing coming. Remember with the George Floyd situation in Minnesota? Defund the police. They don't want to talk about the fact that they only have 600 police officers there. Okay? And they're upset about the fact that the government brought 5 times the amount of law enforcement agents into their state, because they haven't been doing, and this was done by design. Now everybody's got to play their role. It's all a game. They are all in it, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a game, from the White House to the situation in Minnesota. Minnesota is the testing ground for what they can or cannot do. But soon there will be boots all over, including UN boots in some states, in Chicago, you name it. This thing, America is about to pop. Okay? Not just Minnesota. Because America knows that she knows she's been evil. In fact, she's called the Babylon, the modern Babylon. And she's about to fall. And not and what everybody's distracted with the situation, not just in Minnesota, with the as far as immigration is concerned. I'm gonna please take a look at the links that I will send you. What they're doing behind your backs. Okay, it's all a lie. Okay, they are ramping it up, ramping the weather modification. I'm sorry, the weather. Okay, they're messing with the weather. This you see this big storm, snowstorm, going through almost half of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, half of this, I call it corporation, because that's what America is, a corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, are you going to stay asleep? Are you going to wake up and establish a strong relationship with your Creator? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the fact is that this is an evil fight, and people are falling for it. They are crying, no justice, no peace. But, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, who's going to give you justice? Who's going to give you peace? Your government? Think again. There's no justice. There's no peace on this planet. You know how many wars are going around, are happening around the world right now? I mean, we're talking serious stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So please, take a look at the links that I will send you and spread the word. Okay? These people are talking, are modifying the weather. Okay? In fact, almost 1 million people are without power right now. Okay? While they deal with this weather situation. Remember what, I forgot his name, President of the United States said it. Those who controls the weather controls the world. But America would not be in control. She's being too evil. Not to mention the fact of the human sacrifices that she's been doing and keeps on doing with the practice of abortion. So you understand? Where I want to know where the protests, where the protesters for the people that have been killed by illegal aliens. Where are you? No, you just wait until somebody makes something happens, like what happened to Alex and what happened to Renegade, to get all over the people that are trying to keep your that are trying to keep your city safe. And by the way, don't get me wrong. Remember what I just said. Donald Trump, the federal government, and Tampon team, ladies and gentlemen, Tampon team, and the mayor of New York and Keith Ellison, they are all in it. Everybody's got to play their part. See, in another country, Tim would have been in jail already. You understand? In another nation, this man would have been in jail, but he's not. Oh, we're investigating, we're doing this. In fact, they didn't even arrest it. They haven't arrested. I mean, it still remains to be seen. Don Lemon. Okay? Because they always seems, I mean, they want to mess black people up so much that they want to connect black people's struggle to the gay agenda. They connected, they brought it in, and people have swallowed that up. Again, people have been psychologically worked, and they have fallen into the rabbit hole. And now they will have a hard time. Millions of people will die needlessly because they've been blind. And you had an Antifa that came on talking about that, to bring guns and let's kill federal agents and let's declare war. Ladies and gentlemen, do they seriously think that they're going to beat federal agents? The 1,500 paratroopers are on standby from Alaska. This is a dangerous game that is being played in America. But it has to happen because America will be destroyed from within. In fact, the Somali are happy that all of this is happening because now they're not talking about the fraud. That's why the mayor of Mnneapolis and Tim, they're happy about this, believe it or not. In fact, they have found evidence that Tim's daughter is on this, telling people with, directing people with where ICE is going to be. It's a whole organization, which the government is on it. Okay, they have technology to tell them exactly what ICE is, so they can converge and go after them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this was done by design. Okay, first it was the previous president. Okay, first it was the previous president, a no man that didn't know where he was at. He was falling all over the place. And then there are these people becoming sanctuary city for criminals. I am Hispanic, but they have slapped it, they put a slap in the face. They slapped in the face of the people that actually waited and went through the process of coming in here. So this whole world is upside down by design, because America is about to what? It's about to pop, ladies and gentlemen. This whole system, this whole matrix system is about to pop. And no one wants to be unplugged. Okay? Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. I live in Minnesota. Okay? And I can tell you, I used to live with George Floyd. I used to go to that store where George Floyd got busted. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's too many hands on the pot to destroy America. And that is coming, and that's going to happen. Okay? And like I said, if you don't believe me, take a look at the links that I will send you where they engineer to destroy America with the excuse of climate change. What they previously, many years ago, considered a conspiracy theory has come to fruition, has come true. And now they cannot hide it anymore. Let me read you one verse from the Bible, and then I'm done. And if you know me, you probably know exactly where I'm going. Revelation chapter 18. Okay? Revelation chapter 18 says the following. I'm going to read just the first 4 verses. Okay? Just the first 4 verses. Okay? Just bear with me. Revelation chapter 18 verse 1. And after this thing I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornications, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Remember, it's talking about the people that have become rich, like Somalians. 4. And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive none of her plagues. 5. For her sins have reached unto heavens, and God hath remembered her iniquities. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, America is done. America is about to pop. All right? You have a whole generation that was taught in university about the communist communist ideologies, and they went for that. The socialists. In fact, we have a socialist and a communist mayor in New York that was just put on there. Because remember, your leaders are not elected. Your votes don't count. You think you're gonna vote? You want to vote somebody out of power? Think again. Your votes don't count. Okay, you have been played, and it seems that you like to be played, because there you go, going along, screaming, no justice, no peace, thinking that you will get justice. You will not get justice from. Remember what it says in chapter 9, verse 24. Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The whole earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. Okay? And the fact that your leaders support abortions, and the fact that your leaders support the LGBTQ community, and the fact that they don't believe in God. They worship the devil, believe it or not. In fact, the satanic organization from chapter in Minnesota gave an honorary award to Tim. Okay? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, using religion as their excuse, they had a satanic display on the Capitol Hill. And it's like they didn't see nothing wrong with it. A true Christian nation or a true Christian state would not let that happen. But it's done, like I said. America is done. Okay? Just remember, your leaders are not elected. They are selected by the power that runs the money. In fact, do you know who else is running the show behind the scenes with weather, modifying the weather? The guy, Fink. Mr. Fink from BlackRock. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, please get it right. Wake up. This is the purpose of this video, to hopefully wake you up, to snap you out of this game that you have been playing and that you have accepted. They have manipulated you. They have made you anger on purpose. They have played with your emotions, just like your religious leaders do. That's how they control you. In fact, if with the 5.6 million religious people on this planet, we should be living in an utopia, but in fact we're not, because religion is the greatest trick that the devil plays on the human mind. Okay, you got 2 billion Muslim, and you got what? 2.4 Catholics. 2.6 billion Catholics on this planet, and then you include the atheists, you include the Hinduists, the people that have all the ideologies, and the sorcerers, the witchcraft. Remember, the witches, all of them. Okay? You're talking about a 5.6 billion people completely being guided by the evil spirit. And once America is out of the way, then the new world order will take place, the Antichrist system. And they will go after the people like you and me. They will come after us. But do not worry, because we are protected by the one that created this earth. We are protected by our mother, who gave us the breath of life. In fact, her name is, in Hebrew, is Rawak Hakandesh. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, in fact, just take a look at your dollar bill if you don't believe me. What does it say there? Novo Ordus Seclorum. They cannot wait for that age, which is already here, to come to pass. It's just that some pieces have to, some things have to happen. And one of the pieces is the United States has to be destroyed. America has become the modern Sodom and Gomorrah. America is being destroyed from within because she knows her time is up. All kingdoms, all empires throughout history have always fallen, but the one that's going to fall the hardest is the United States of America. It's sad to say, but that's the reality. Okay? So just take a look at the links that I was saying you. Well, they have you distracted with all of this game of the immigration. Immigration is something that's been going on for many, many years. In fact, Barack Obama was the one that deported the most people in the United States. But you didn't see protesters all over the place. Because it's an agenda to divide. That's what politicians do. They divide and conquer. That's what religion do. That's why Christendom came out of political system in Rome. So ladies and gentlemen, you better understand your history to understand what is happening in front of you. Prophecies are being fulfilled in front of you. Do you think I come here and talk about this thing for the heck of it? No. I come to you with the hope that you wake the hell up. With all my love, because I don't want no one, regardless of your race. And not only that, I mean, you talk about, speaking of race, you talk about the black people, how they were played by Martin Luther King. And there's a, which is again, the very it's the same psychological game being played. Okay? Take a look at what, on the links that I will send you, who he really is. Do you know that Martin Luther King was a communist? But of course you would not believe it, because you are content and you are happy with what he supposedly achieved. He didn't achieve nothing. We are still underdog. My father's black, my mother is white. May God bless you, and I hopefully see you when this whole thing is over. I will see you on the other side, of paradise, on this earth, because this whole system will be destroyed, because we were created to live forever on this earth. And people that are killed, however they are killed, ladies and gentlemen, they are just put in pause until God comes for the final judgment. And those people that the evil of their suffering will be eternal, forever. May God bless you. Y'all take care.